Okay, so this is the chart for the eclipse. It peaks at 12:06 p.m. around noon, Pacific time, Friday, September 16th, today. And it peaks at 24 degrees, 20 minutes of Virgo and Pisces, conjunct Chiron, if you believe in that. Um, and one thing that I noticed immediately about this eclipse in this moment is the fact that there are several dwarf planets being conjoined at once, and a whole other period of time is being foreshadowed right now, not by the eclipse necessarily, but by where Venus is at. Venus is at the point where Jupiter will get stuck to oppose Uranus, to sextile Saturn. Venus is at a place where Jupiter will be, and it will be the defining place of the next several months and the next entire year. The way 10 degrees Sagittarius, 10 degrees Pisces, 10 degrees Gemini and Virgo defined 2016 with Jupiter square Saturn, Jupiter opposition Neptune, Saturn square Neptune. The next era of time will be Jupiter opposition Uranus, Saturn trine Uranus, and Jupiter in Libra sextile Saturn and Sagittarius. So, what does it mean with Venus conjunct Haumea opposition Uranus conjunct Eris, North Node starting to conjoin Orcus with Mars conjunct Ixion and Quasar? What does that mean? Jupiter conjunct Makemake. I don't know. But we come across these fateful moments where every planet is conjunct a dwarf planet. I don't know why. But those moments are real. There are people that are born at these moments where they have every planet in their chart conjunct a dwarf planet, and they have this way that seems to tap deep into things. They tend to be intuitive people that have intense events happen to them constantly, for better or for worse, dwarf planet people. These moments come, and people are born during these moments where every planet is conjunct a dwarf planet. It's all or nothing. I don't know why, but yeah. So determining what these planets actually do, like Makemake, Haumea, Ixion and Quasar, Eris, it's really difficult. It's really hard for me to put to words what I think Eris does. I feel it. I think I can feel what I think it does, but it's going to take more time to fully understand. Anyway, this eclipse occurs conjunct these two stars at the end of Pisces, Markab and Sheet. And someone just mentioned that they pulled up a traditional definition of these stars on this website, Angel Fire. And it's one of the first things that anybody pulls up if you Google search the fixed stars. And it has these horrible, kind of alarmist definitions for these stars, like you could die in a violent death or have a shipwreck or something like that. And these old school definitions of fixed stars, they're mostly inaccurate. So, maybe. I've never really found any evidence to suggest that. I have Saturn and Venus at the end of Pisces at 22 and 25 degrees, exactly where Chiron and the moon are for this. So, in a way, you can feel the energy of the eclipse coming from me, because that's also where my descendant is 20 degrees Pisces. My ascendant is 20 degrees Virgo. If you know Kurt Cobain, he had Saturn and Venus at the end of Pisces, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn at the end of Pisces, and Uranus conjunct Pluto at the end of Virgo, opposite that. So, If you want to know how the Virgo-Pisces axis feels at the end, how this eclipse will feel, it's a very mutable energy. It's a very watery, somber type of, it feels like the colors black and purple and blue to me. Black, purple, blue, silver, if that makes sense. There's something really intuitive, and I don't know, there's something really mystical about the end of Pisces. It's the end of the end. It's the end of the final sign. And there's something that gets resolved deeply at the end of Pisces and at the end of Virgo. The end of Virgo and its switch over to Libra is a huge shift. It's like a rebirth. Just like the end of Pisces to Aries is the last sign to the first sign. Aries definitely feels like the youngest sign. There's some kind of ancient, old, very old feeling to the end of Virgo and the end of Pisces. And there's a newborn type of young feeling to the beginning of Libra and the beginning of Aries. So there's this kind of reborn feeling that we'll probably feel for the next week. And I'm kind of lost for words on this eclipse. I don't know if I understand this one to the fullest. I don't think I have many specific words for this eclipse. I think I'm just going to leave it to you to understand yourself. I think if I just show you what's happening astronomically, you should be able to interpret it with your own intuition, because I don't have much intuition for this one. We've got Uranus conjunct Eris making a perfect quincunx to the Sun. And then we've got Venus conjunct Haumea making a perfect quincunx to the Moon. These dwarf planets are tapping these, Uranus conjunct Eris, Venus conjunct Haumea, Mars conjunct Ixion, Moon conjunct Chiron. There's some kind of deep things being tapped into by the planets right now. Some extremely deep things are being tapped into. There's this electrical circuit of deep energies going on. I don't know what it's doing, but something deep is being tapped into. I don't know how significant this is in the grand scheme of things. There have been so many intense events, so many milestones that we've been going through. At this point, my sense of perception on what's significant and what is less significant is kind of fried. Not permanently, but just at this moment, it's hard for me to tell what's of greater significance than the next event. At this point, we've already been through the most significant milestones, the end of Saturn square Neptune, the eclipse that occurred square Saturn opposite Neptune. We're past that. So at this moment, I say that this is a great point of resolution, a great ending to this period of coldness, and this Venus opposition Uranus during the eclipse is surely foreshadowing a period of greater, higher energy, warm, active, on energy instead of the cold, inactive energy of 2016. I'd say this foreshadows the period of Jupiter in Libra opposition Uranus, Jupiter sextile Saturn, Saturn trine Uranus. I think that's what this foreshadows. The end of Pisces, where the moon is during this eclipse, is a deeply resolved end of life place. Deeply watery resolved, emotions resolved, deeply intuitive place. So, well, I hope that triggered your own intuition about this, and that you interpret this in your own way. Much love. Peace.